Time now to welcome in former Bills center and host of the Monday Mornings with Mitch podcast, one Mitch Morse, and his appearances for From the Armchair are presented by Raymore and Flanagan. Raymore and Flanagan is a proud partner of the Buffalo Bills. So we begin here, Mitch, with a receiving core that's a little beat up, as you know. Gabe Davis, unfortunately, done for the season with the torn ACL. Tyrell Shavers, fortunately, was able to come back in the game last week after suffering a knee injury himself in the first half. And thank God he did, because I don't know if people fully grasp how many different parts of a football game Tyrell Shavers touches.
Without a doubt, Chris, you look at the first quarter of the game, you isolate that, you have a guy almost blocking a punt. That first third down, when they're backed up, they have that huge reception. And just his ability to go in and dig out linebackers and bigger people in the run game. You look at the stat line, one reception for 14 yards doesn't jump off the page. But what it does is his resiliency in the way he plays and what he embodies in Sean McDermott's team. It's the playoff caliber mentality, which can be a little cringy at times for folks who have been around it and you kind of blow it off, but it's the truth. And listen, this is a team that everyone's told them and everyone surrounding it that there's only one superstar, and Josh doesn't have superstars around him. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd rather have a bunch of Tyrell Shavers on my team than one or two superstars because of the way he practices, the way he plays, and a guy who, yeah, he did get banged up, but he rose to the occasion, shook it off, and came back in and made huge implications in this game.
Yeah, there's no question. Sean McDermott has had these, I've say, like Shavers guys around like this because he rewards them with a roster spot. Think back of Bob Foster back in the day, right? There are guys who have overcome so much and who, when they arrive, they're not NFL players. But when they leave, they're guys, man, I wish he wasn't leaving. What a guy, right? So that's McDermott has guys like that around, kind of as examples of how maybe guys who are more gifted should act.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think of guys like him, Sam Franklin Jr., number 28. Like you just see statistics. I don't go too much by. The eye test is what I see. And what it does it's a rallying cry for everyone on the field. You need those kind of guys. Those are the kind of guys that fill you up. Those are the kind of guys that how they attack play after play after play until the game is ended fuels the cup for the rest of the guys. Yes, you need those dudes around to do the dirty work, to show and lead by example, even if it's those guys who are quote unquote on the bubble earlier in the career. Reward them. And when you do that, that just sets an example for the rest of the team.
Depth has stepped up when necessary thus far in the playoffs. It's going to have to step up again on the defensive side of the ball, as it's not anticipated that Jordan Poyer is going to be ready to suit up on a short week with this game coming around on Saturday. You, I believe, were teammates with Darnell Savage in Jacksonville last season. So knowing that Bills fans don't know much about him, if there's any light you can shed on him as a player and as a safety, please do. And then the Cavalry might be coming right on time here as the practice window has been opened for Ed Oliver. Knowing you went against him in practice on a daily basis, what kind of impact could he provide, even coming off a 3-month layoff?
Speaking on Darnell Savage, I don't know much about, and I can't critique much about defensive back play. But what I can tell you is the kind of teammate he is, which is ever present, trying to be the best version of themselves, and one that prides himself on rising to the occasion. So we're hoping to see that come Saturday. You run into this, whatever you call injury bug. Every team faces it. Every team kind of goes through it in different circumstances. Well, we lost a guy early in the career that was playing at the highest level of his career, or this season that we lost early in the season that's playing at the height of his career, which is Ed Oliver. Arguably one of the best defensive players. I know he only played 3 games in the NFL early on. You're required to play young guys early in this season and throughout the season. What they've done is they've banked up reps. It might have made it uncomfortable at the time, but now you have battle-tested young dudes and guys who have had their name called over and over again working in your arsenal. You saw it this past Sunday. These guys played well, and they had this energy about them, which was infectious. And if you get a guy like Ed Oliver back, it's undeniable the fact that will also charge up the energy on that defense, have another rotation, but you won't have to solely rely on the guy, especially when he's trying to get his legs back. You have guys behind him, but he is a difference maker. There's without a doubt. And tell me he isn't ready to go out there and prove people that he's the key that this defense has been missing. He's a special breed of competitor. He's a special athlete, and he's putting it all together. He was at the beginning of the season. It was terrible to see him go down, but now you have the opportunity to bring him back in the biggest moments, in the biggest stage. Listen, he might not completely take over the game or change the game every drive, but he's going to make an impact, and it's going to be fun to see.
And one of the things about this matchup in Denver this weekend, you got two pretty veteran now. Sean McDermott has to be considered a veteran head coach, pushing 8 years in the league, going against Sean Payton, who's a Super Bowl winning coach, who has now turned the two franchises around. The New Orleans Saints, of course, and now the Denver Broncos. We're going to talk about these two head coaches. One's offensive, one's defensive. One is Sean Payton's got brash attitude. He has never backed down from anything. And Sean McDermott is this guy who's just full of grace and he's got the culture thing working, the whole thing. They're a little bit different.
Yeah, they are. And I would say Coach McDermott's a little more brash than he lets on, which is he's got that feisty mentality, which is what you love as a player. He can put on different hats and wear them at the proper times. Yeah, you have two battle-tested guys in the playoffs, right? So I wouldn't put it too much into what's going to happen in the game. I can't speak on that in regards to how you attack certain things, what kind of game plan adjustments need to be made. The one thing I will say is that having a first-round bye always isn't a benefit in regards to having your team play. Yes, it does help get guys healthy. It helps with home field advantage. But I've had two first-round byes in the NFL, and with two very different experiences. One we got throttled, the other one we came out, and it's all how the coaches took over and how they coached us and all that stuff. And then you have the Bills, who are coming off of a short week on the road again, kind of rolling with this momentum of putting a game together on the road. So it'll be about how they manage both of their teams in their different respective states. And then we'll let the chips fall where they may. I thought Coach McDermott's coming off of a game where he coached about as flawless of a game as you can be. I know people are going to kind of nitpick about stuff if he should have nailed it or not. That's not for us to say. They won the game. It'll be a battle against two juggernaut NFL teams and with two very veteran, poised coaches when the guns are ablazing.
Yeah, and one of the strength-on-strength matchups that really hasn't been covered yet is in the red zone. I mean, Denver's red zone defense is number 1 in the league. Bills have been a top 5 red zone offense all season long. In that tight area down there where, the defense doesn't have as much ground to cover and everything gets condensed, I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know, Mitch, but being able to run down there is kind of a big deal when you're going against a defense the caliber of the Broncos, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Steve, this, one of the biggest coaching points for an offense and a defense in the red zone, in the passing game, is everything happens quicker, directly to the quarterback. And that's kind of how this defense has feasted 68 sacks, a bunch of guys who are creeping up on 10 sacks. You have Nick Benito. Yeah, I mean, this is a team, the Bills, that being, I'm sure, are fairly disappointed in how they ran the ball. But that being said, that doesn't define how the next week's going to go about. You need points in the red zone, especially against a team with Bo Nix, who can get hot. You need 7 points. The fact that I and a lot of folks were doubting Matt Prater last week is a little bit of a folly. I thought he played admirably, and of course you have 3 points, but this is going to be a 7-point affair you need down there, and it's going to make this game so intense. It's going to be an awesome, and I know it's playoff football, so you're going to say this every single week. It's a beautiful atmosphere to watch a football game, but it really is on a quick turnaround. 4:30 Eastern time. So what is that? 2 or 1:30? It's 2:30 Mountain West time.
2:30 Mountain time. Yeah.
What an experience, man. I'm sure it'll be sunny because it always is. It's just going to be a great game for football.
Yeah, it will.
Mitch, thanks for the time as always. We appreciate it. and we'll catch up with you next week. Hopefully we're talking about another victory.
Yeah, boys, I appreciate you. God bless.